You're listening to DraftKings Network.
We all have that friend who wakes up early to go get everyone McDonald's breakfast, while the rest of us sleep in. This is your sign to thank them. And if you're that friend, this is us saying thank you.
Just a friendly reminder that right now, get any size iced coffee before 11 a.m. for just 99 cents. And a satisfying sausage McMuffin with egg is just $2.79. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The headlines remind us daily, the world is a dangerous place. The elites in charge say everything's fine, stop noticing. But you know better. And your gut knows that time is short to prepare for a world that is 4 missed meals away from chaos. My Patriot Supply has helped over 3 million families become more self-reliant and is the company Americans trust to prepare. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contain delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Secure at least one food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save $200, plus get free shipping on all their Ready Hour 3-month emergency food kits. You're not ready if it's not Ready Hour Foods. My Patriot Supply also has solar power generators, water filtration units, biomass stoves, heirloom seeds, and critical survival gear. Shop MyPatriotSupply.com today. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
I really do think that it would be Billy's anarchist dream for Meadowlark to pay him as a consultant, and then at the end of his findings, he comes to me with a report, and he says with a giant smile on his face, Dan, your problems throughout your company, they're all me. I've discovered the problem. They are all me.
But the good news, I have the solution.
Promote me.
No one better equipped to solve the Billy problem than Billy.
Sam Morril is with us. This is early for him. He's a late-night comic. He lives a big, loud life at night, and he's got more of those T-shirts than any human being I know. There it is, the Isaiah Hartenstein Die Hard T-shirt. Look at him. He's feeling himself today. I was surprised you weren't at the game yesterday. I should tell the people. He's our senior Knicks correspondent. He's the commissioner of Fandom. He's got shows coming up in Lexington, in Southern California, in Atlantic City, Rochester. He'll be in Miami. And same time tomorrow is his Netflix special. What happened? I thought for sure you would be there soaring behind your team last night.
If there's a game 7, I'll be there, man. I get too nervous, man. I'm not fun to watch these games with. I'm panicking. I'm a wreck. Thank God they blew that one out in the second half. But yeah, I'm not fun to watch these with. I don't want to be there.
Do you want a game 7?
Of course not. I said if there is one, I'll be there, and I'll definitely be there in the next round. But I was pretty nervous yesterday. I got to be honest.
Sam, you haven't been nervous throughout this. You've told me at every turn that you think you can beat Boston. What happened?
Well, I forgot that Jalen Brunson is like King Henry V, and he doesn't need to have his full force. He can be outnumbered, and he can still have a depleted army and win the war.
Mm-hmm. Sam, I thought the same thing. After Game 3, they squandered an opportunity, Game 3, to win that game on the road, go up 3-0. It came back 2-2. I was very nervous headed into last night.
You thought the same thing, that Jalen Brunson was like King Henry?
Well, that too, yes. Yeah, but I was nervous. Knicks fans were nervous last night, you know?
We were nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that Siakam finally started to play well with the absence of OG Anunoby. OG was shutting his ass down. OG is so essential. I mean, we're down a lot of players right now. This is nerve-wracking for us. I think we're clearly the better team. I think even if you're a reasonable Pacers fan, you realize the Knicks are the better team. we're playing down 4 key players. It's crazy.
So that's what your answer would be, right? When I ask you, well, how did your confidence become something so shaky that in the second round it could be tested by a 6 seed? It's just the injuries, right?
Just the injuries, of course. I think losing OG Anunoby was a big blow because we had to play, and kudos Tibbs for adjusting. He went with the small ball lineup, and it worked out starting Deuce yesterday. So I liked it. And Precious gave us great minutes. And same shout out to Alec Burks for being, his number was called. I know a lot of Knicks fans were nervous with Alec Burks.
Not me.
He's been balling, dude.
Yep. I told Dan that guy can give you 20 points on any given night, and he's done it. He's done it twice. I mean, Dan, your thoughts? Apologize to Alec Burks.
He hadn't given you 20 points since February.
19 a game, the last 2.
The shirt. Take me, for the audio audience, Sam, just take me on a tour of the shirt you're presently wearing.
Isaiah Hartenstein, Die Hard with a Vengeance. Yeah, I've been a big Hartenstein supporter for a long time. Knicks fans, we believe in our players, and we don't like when major media people trash them. And that only made me a bigger Hartenstein fan, seeing how he didn't become shaken. He became powerful. He became a monster on the glass, and you saw it last night. His defense he's been the anchor for us. He's been amazing. And 12 offensive boards last night. This guy is we need him next year. I hope he stays a Knick. He's been incredible.
What'd you think of the Pacers coming out thinking they're a bunch of tough guys at the Mecca last night, huh? Got a little chippy there, Sam.
I mean, Dante just made me think of like Jamie Kennedy and Malibu's Most Wanted, but like tough. You know what I mean? Like, I love that kid. I think he's like, he's just a badass. I love him. He's, yeah, man. It was a mix between that and like Rabbit and 8 Mile. Like this dude I believe in Dante. I think he's got that like 90s Knicks kind of edge to him. So does Josh Hart. We're a lot of tough players. And look, when Pacers fans are complaining, like Knicks fans, you want a tough series, but you complain about fouls. I don't care if it's physical. You just got to blow the whistle. It's hilarious that Pacers. I saw Bill Simmons post like, "Oh, the Knicks and Scott Foster." The Pacers were getting every call in the first half. It was comical, I thought, and they were getting every call in Game 3. Game 4 didn't matter because they beat our ass. But Game 3 and Game 5, Game 3 they gave them one back for what they thought they gave us in Game 1, and then last night they were getting every whistle. We just happened to outplay them.
Now we do it.
I'm curious how it is that you're too nervous for a Game 5, but you'll be there for a Game 7.
Because it's a must win.
How do your nerves end up playing out? Did you really not go yesterday because you thought it would be too much for your anxiety and you don't like how you behave?
Well, if I don't go, I usually have people over, and I need to be alone.
So you have the people over, and they do what with you being this way? They know you well enough to know it's okay that he's screaming at the television?
Yeah, they like it. I have enough crazy people in my group that they go nuts too.
Did you ask Sam if he wanted a Game 7? No one wants a Game 7 when you're up 3-2.
It was an odd question.
Here's why I would tell you, like, maybe not fans, but if you're telling me
you want it.
Yes, I want it for a number of different reasons.
Pacers want a Game 7.
Yes. Here's my question when you say that it's odd, though, and I understand why you would say it. If you're confident in your team, if you tell me again and again that Mecca's the hardest place to play, and it's the greatest sound, and I want to remember something forever, and you're better than the other team, why not one game for everything? You get to watch it. You get to be there. You get to remember this series forever when Larry Johnson is making a 4-pointer.
I'll remember this series forever regardless. I want to end this thing in Indiana.
You will not.
Dan, Jalen Brunson got hurt. He came back in the second half. I'll remember this series forever.
Yeah, also, Dan, I didn't appreciate your tone with the Mecca's the hardest place to play. It is the hardest place to play.
Right. Yes.
And the fans are the best. Are we going to talk about Draymond's ridiculous unlikability on TNT?
Well, let's play this sound for Sam and the audience.
Why does Knicks fans think I hate the Knicks, though?
Why do they? Because you did say you didn't like New York.
No, that's a lie.
But I thought you said.
I told the truth about the team. And the truth about the team is it's a fluke.
That's why they don't like you. That's why.
But I
you
didn't say
saying that
nothing
their
about the
good
Knicks.
season that they've had in the last whatever, you said is a fluke.
This year is what you said.
He said this year's team is a fluke.
Okay, so here's what I said.
A fluke.
I said this team, they're winning right now. And it could be, I think it's a setup like the Atlanta Hawks in 2021.
Right.
And if you remember back to maybe 2016-17, the Portland Trailblazers paid all of those guys because they had that one good year, and then they got jammed up. And I think this New York Knicks team could be a setup to get jammed up.
Is that what you're objecting to, or something else?
If you're comparing Alan Crabb and Al-Farouq Aminu to OG Anunoby and all these other guys, you're out of your mind. Knicks are a fluke. We're down 4 rotation players, including Julius Randle, an All-NBA guy. OG Anunoby, a defensive beast. You remember defense, Draymond. You used to play it before you went straight for the headlock. Remember? You want to talk about a fluke? You being in the Hall of Fame is a fluke, Draymond. If you aren't drafted the Warriors, not only are you not in the Hall of Fame, you might be in a psych ward right now, or best case playing in Europe. Steph saving your career is a fluke. No one else would be this patient with you. No other star. So maybe instead of trying to rain on our parade and the first joy we've had in years, let us enjoy it the way the rest of TNT, like Kenny Smith, is letting us enjoy it.
I love when you get pissed off.
Well, Draymond's not here. You know that, right, Sam? That was just a video.
No, he's directing.
I'm talking into the camera.
Right.
Listening.
Attaboy.
A genuine question, though, when it comes to this Knicks group, like if there are no moves made and you have this core moving forward for the next 5, 6, 7 years, this is the group. What do we think is the higher likelihood, that this group wins a championship or that they never get back to the conference finals again? Ooh. Because I kind of think it's probably the latter, given the people who were out in the East this year.
I think, first of all, if you think Trae Young has the leadership or the talent of Jalen Brunson, you don't watch basketball. Mm-hmm. Secondly, we are missing, do you not hear what I'm saying? We're missing 4 key players, and we're still doing this well. So I think you have to look at what our potential is. I think what you saw in January when Randall and OG and all the guys were just banging, we were a team that beats you up and wears you down. And we have to change our identity a little bit to compete. Luckily, Tibbs has made adjustments, and I think he's made key adjustments, starting McBride yesterday and, having Precious come off the bench for energy. So, look, I think our ceiling is pretty damn high, and maybe we're not done making moves. That's why you stockpile first-round picks. I think there's a couple more moves Leon might make. But to act like we're a fluke and not in a great position, the best position we've been in 25 years, Draymond, I thought you were like a high IQ basketball guy. I thought that was your whole thing. I respect Draymond Green. I think he is a Hall of Fame player. But, you clearly, I don't get the anger at New York. Like, we're just enjoying our team. We're just happy. We're having a good time. Why is everyone being like, well, this is a fluke. This isn't for real. If you saw your friend in love and he was like, not a cool guy, maybe hadn't found a woman in a while, would you be like, dude, this is bullshit? No.
I might actually.
Or would you let him enjoy love?
It's a fluke.
He's screaming at the camera. Draymond, would you let me enjoy love, please? I am in love. I haven't felt this way about the Knicks this century.
Jeremy asked him a question, and he was still responding to Draymond Green.
Well, this was real professional work by the professional comedian. I've seen coaches over the years say to themselves, I don't care what the questions are. I'm going to say what I want to say. He did get around to answering Jeremy's question, but he had a little more to slice off for Draymond there. He pissed you off last night. People are pissing you off, Sam.
It's a fluke.
Yeah. I mean, but I'll say this. I love when the media counts the Knicks out because I think this is a team that wants to be counted out. I think they thrive on it. I think it's fuel. When you saw Siakam, who, by the way, has looked meh. He's had a couple games, but talking shit to Jalen Brunson and Brunson going back, it's a long series. I love that. I love that Jalen Brunson's like, let us be the humble guys. You guys talk your shit. Tyrese Halliburton talked a lot of shit in Indiana, and he can, but that's not our style. Our style is more like, we're tough, we're going to play ball, and let Tyrese talk a lot of shit because he was pretty quiet last night.
Are Sam and Stugotz surprised at all that Jalen Brunson already has more playoff points than Carmelo Anthony?
I'm not personally, and no disrespect to Carmelo, but I do think that Jalen is the best Knick since the '90s. I just think, I think he's had a pretty big load in his shoulders, and he's delivered. He's been incredible.
I am surprised by that because no one could see this coming. Like no one. Like Carmelo, yeah, that is surprising. Like Jalen Brunson in the moment, this is great, but no one could see, at least I couldn't see, that Jalen Brunson would arrive at a place where he has more playoff points than Carmelo.
It's a fluke.
I mean, how do you not look at Jalen Brunson and just love this guy? How do you not look at the whole team and love this team? They play. They all were guys. They remind me a little bit of Detroit in 2004. A lot of guys who people kind of gave up on, like Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, guys that kind of didn't get their due. Ben Wallace, those types of players. How do you not like this team?
Stugotz has a revised list of top 5 Knicks of all time based on yesterday's proceedings, I guess. Number 5 or OLI?
I am OLI, yeah, I have a ton of them.
All right. You've got a lot of outside looking in.
Just some, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Dave DeBusschere. Bill Bradley. Earl the Pearl. Walt Clyde Frazier. Patrick Ewing. Nicotine. Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson.
You're just naming Knicks?
Number 5.
Nicotine has fallen out of the top 5?
It was number 1. That was a week ago. Today's today.
Number 5.
Alec Burks.
Number 4.
Deuce McBride.
3.
Dante DiVincenzo.
2.
Isaiah Hartenstein.
1.
The Mecca.
Sam, how do you feel about that list?
I love Isaiah Hartenstein. You know I love these guys, so I'm fine with it.
Thank you.
I think whatever it takes tampering wise, I will bring Hartenstein back. Maybe a tour of New York, something special to make him believe that this is the greatest city in the world. I hope we're able to keep him an OG. That's how I feel. So I think they're both key. Going forward, and key to our defensive identity, which is what Knicks fans want. They want a defensive team always.
Sam, I know Brunson's been great in this series, but if the Knicks win the series MVP should go to the Mecca, right?
I think, look, it's a team game, man, and I love what Hartenstein said about the Knicks fans. Where after Game 4 and the Knicks got crushed, he was like, "We don't deserve the amount of support they give us if this is how we're going to play." So I think they're aware of how great the Mecca is and how great the fans are. And I thought that was like a very, very smart thing for Isaiah to say. I think Josh Hart said something similar. So they know that it's an amazing place to play. There's some other great arenas in basketball, but I don't think anything touches MSG.
It's a fluke.
Put it on the poll at Batard Show. Do you think the Knicks will be able to keep Hartenstein with a tour of New York?
You don't know how I do things, man. I got great restaurants lined up, whatever he needs.
It's likely going to come down to money.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was you giving the personal tour. I thought it was one of those duck tours.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a big off season. We're going to have fun. He's going to be like, how could I leave the city? Katz's Deli, this is amazing. They don't have this in Charlotte or whoever tries to court me. I don't know. We're going to keep him. It's going to be great.
Sam, if there is indeed a Game 7 that no Knick fan wants to see, but if there is one on Sunday, I would like to come. I'd like to sit courtside with you, and I am bringing along a good friend of mine if you're interested, okay? Adam Schefter. Me, you, Schefter, courtside at a Knicks game. How do we get it done?
But you have to, wait a minute. You have to get him to get you now 2 tickets, or does Schefter have his own ticket?
These are pricey tickets. These are not easy to get.
Listen, it's on Dan. Me, you, and Schefter. What do you think?
I think I'm going with Chrissy D on Sunday if there's a Game 7, but we'll see.
He's our senior Knicks correspondent. He's too scared and nervous to go see a Game 5. He's Sam Morril.
You understand? There's no choice in a Game 7. Game 5, I'm like, I can't.
Right, you have to go.
Right. I can't look at. I go nuts. But Game 7 is do or die. So there's a Game 7, but man, I'm worried. I'm worried. Mostly about OG's health, because I do know we need him to make this Boston series even interesting. Because what's tough is having all these injuries in a year where I do think Boston is beatable. And we've had so much bad injury luck. Obviously, Boston's a great team, but I do think anything can happen in the playoffs, as we've seen, with your Miami Heat team beating them. Miami played a tough style basketball. And I think that this Knicks team has like a Knicks culture, and I think they could make it interesting, but it's going to be tough if we keep having these injuries.
He's the commissioner of Fandom. He's our senior Knicks correspondent. He's got shows coming up in Lexington, in Southern California, Atlantic City, Rochester, and here in Miami. And I will tell you again, the Netflix special, it's excellent, as is all of his work. Same time tomorrow. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, guys. Go Knicks!
Stugotz here for my friends over at Simply Safe. When you travel, do concerns back home nag you? Did you lock up? Did you leave a window open? That's why I recommend investing in Simply Safe Home Security today for award-winning security and peace of mind wherever your summer plans take you. I've had Simply Safe in my home for many years now. The peace of mind it gives me, especially during the summertime when I'm all over the place, is incredible. Because I know the things I care about, the things I value back home. I can always keep an eye on it using Simply Safe's indoor and outdoor cameras. So do me a favor. Before you head out on your next vacation, make sure to protect your whole home with Simply Safe's variety of indoor and outdoor cameras, plus add sensors to detect break-ins, fires, floods, and more. It's backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day, no contracts to worry about, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Simply Safe has given me and many of my listeners real peace of mind. I want you to have it too. So right now, get 20% off any new Simply Safe system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/DLB. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Don Le Batard. All these high-paid analysts, I don't want to mention names, TNT, ESPN, they are dead. They cannot, they're not going to make it, even if they win if they lose in Miami.
I need to calm you down.
That's right. If they lose in Miami, they don't got a chance in Boston. Or they are going to have their ass, in Boston, Stugotz. They were wrong. Are they going to lose their job? No. Are they going to get a cut in pay? No. What are they going to do? Keep predicting what is the obvious. They're going to say, the Nuggets are going to win. Denver, the altitude. And you know what? The Heat are going to win it all. This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Roy, I don't know how you feel today. The Panthers had the Boston Bruins cornered. You want to end that at home. I know you've been afraid at no point during this series, but your general feeling...
Are you going to ask Roy if he wants a Game 7?
Okay, you guys are making fun of me for this, but I thought Game 7s at home are fun and the greatest thing. And
when you're losing the series,
yes,
and you force it.
Right.
If you're winning and you choke to get to Game 7, not as fun.
Rare is the team up 3-2 that wants to force a Game 7.
Understood, but you guys are always telling me how confident you are and how hard it is to play in New York, and you don't have real confidence about it if you're terrified of a Game 7 and simply don't want it under any circumstances.
But you were asking, Roy, the Panthers had him cornered, had it done. You want to get it done at home. You don't want to go back to Boston. I feel like Roy is still confident. I can't believe I'm saying this.
I would love a Game 7 at home, and I don't want that series to end in Boston. I want it brought back here, and I want maximum stakes on everybody.
I would like this series to end in Boston, Dan. I would like them to go to the Eastern Conference Final and face either the Rangers or the Hurricanes, most likely the Rangers.
But you're not rattled. You're good.
I'm fine.
Really?
Yes.
My favorite part of last night's game, other than that we lost, that part sucked, but Maurice yelling at the team to inspire, and we get a goal right after.
So 11 seconds after that tirade.
We have the video of, I think it's B-roll, where we can just see him laying into the team. There's a fan longing for him, and that's the way I look at Paul Maurice.
Longing for Paul Maurice just by watching him just coach, just be a coach.
He was just laying into the team, and I see this clip, and then the fan, oh my God, it's me. It's the way I would look at him, just longing.
And you just think that it's
sexy.
Sexy. You're claiming.
Look right here, you can see it. Look at the guy in the background. Look at the way he's looking at Maurice there. That's the way I look at him. I love him. And look, he's telling his friend, he's yelling at him.
You're just gazing at him longing.
Do we have an ISO of just the look? I love this guy.
Because his veins are in his neck bulging.
Hockey coach. I mean.
I'm afraid that the one Hall of Famer that has joined us today is snoring in the back next to Jeremy. Mike Ryan came running in today to executive produce again. He's pushed Chris out of the chair in order for all of us to celebrate the one true Hall of Famer who is here. Bernie, the Heat mascot, has arrived, and we need to vote him into the Hall of Fame. Billy has yelled and screamed at the Mascot Hall of Fame Executive Committee because he thinks it's communist.
Well, they just don't respect your vote. I mean, you can vote for Bernie. You can, I guess, you can vote for them to get into the Hall of Fame, but here's the thing. They don't care about your votes. They're just going to do whatever they want. They proved that with Billy the Marlin, and it's a sham. But I hope you guys get in. But
what do you mean, you guys? We've got Bernie is going to make the Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean, there's a big class. Multiple people get in every year.
Who are the others in the class, and do you think they rise to the level? We said before that the state of Florida, has never had a mascot in the Hall of Fame.
Billy the Marlin was voted in by the fans, and then the Hall of Fame didn't let him in for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
We got to talk to somebody to get some questions answered. Lucy, you love mascots. You told me you were very excited to have Bernie in today.
Look, I'm looking at the Mascot Hall of Fame right now, and Little Red for Nebraska made it, and he's a freak, so I don't trust the voting.
Oh, wow. All right, let's get someone on to answer some
from the
questions.
Hall of Fame,
yes. To put them under the interrogation lights and ask them why. I want to ask them the question of Billy, if you ask for fan vote and then don't respect it, what do you do?
Well, it's just 1/3 of the voting process. The committee gets in, and then I guess if they get in, they get votes. It's a loaded class this year. Big Al is there from the University of Alabama. The Leprechaun from Notre Dame is there. Mrs. Met is there. I wonder if Mr. Met wants Mrs. Met in the Hall of Fame or not. Or if Mr. Met just wants to have the Hall of Fame be Mr. Met's thing.
Wait a minute. That is loaded. You just gave two that I think...
New Jersey Devil is there. Purdue Pete. Orbit.
Purdue Pete?
Rosie Red. Talon. Jackson DeVille. Lucille.
Lucy, what is your problem with Purdue Pete?
What isn't my problem with Purdue Pete? Have you seen that freak?
Muscular.
He is like if death were a mascot. He's terrifying.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Is Purdue Pete like if death were a mascot?
None of these mascots have ever been arrested, am I right?
Sebastian is truly Miami.
Fist me.
Purdue Pete has been arrested. He got arrested like 2 years ago.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
What is
at like a McDonald's or something. I'm not even joking.
For murder?
Not for murder.
Oh.
What is the backstory, please, on Purdue Pete being arrested? Because I did not have Chris Cody getting that so immediately wrong.
Yeah.
Alleged battery and disorderly conduct at a McDonald's. Oh, look more.
You know what?
I sit corrected.
Okay. You know what? All right, Purdue Pete. Do it in a game. Sebastian did it during a game. He did it during a big game. He got arrested on the road. He got arrested. Let's go. Not buying a burger, Purdue Pete.
Well, it was assault, they said, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't get arrested for buying a burger. I know that, Metal Art consultant Billy Gill.
Was he in costume? I mean,
the reason that both of these mascots sitting with us deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, they invented stuff. Bernie invented the hip thrust. Oh, yeah.
Did he invent that? Please don't do that to me.
Bernie, did you invent the hip thrust?
That's very uncomfortable. Don't ever do that
I'll do it again.
No, please don't do that.
I don't have a thing.
Let Bernie do it. Let Bernie do it.
You have it.
Yeah. This is awkward. And what he did, the side, like splitting his mouth thing, who else does that?
There it is.
I think that might actually be something that Sebastian the Ibis did indeed invent. I don't know if Bernie invented...
No, he did. Look it up.
Well, you were wrong about the arrest thing, though.
Your mascot information.
Should I do it again?
Is not exceptional.
No.
You know what? I would like, now that you've mentioned it, for you to do it the remainder of the segment.
Oh, come on, man.
We only have 18 minutes left.
Sitting next to him.
Trying to teach
Go ahead and stand up and hold the microphone to you and go ahead and do that while I get Roy's hockey analysis that makes Bernie snore. You don't have any concerns. You have said that a number of different times and ways, but I was not expecting that. I know the hardest game to get against tough teams is the desperate one that will end their season, but given the way the last 3 games looked for Florida, I was genuinely surprised by that result.
Well, the Bruins limited the Panthers' shots, especially in the first period. For the first half of this game, it was pretty much all Bruins, and the Panthers really could not control the puck. I mean, they were giving the puck away. There were 2 transition opportunities on their power play that went back for breakaways. It just wasn't very good. I mean, Carter Verhaeghe didn't have a good game. Matthew Tkachuk didn't.
The power play was bad. Our power play was bad.
bad.
We've looked great on the power play, and last night was rough.
Give Swayman some credit, though, Roy. He was great last night.
He was great last night. Yeah. Bob was also good. But, yeah, I mean, the Panthers played their way out of that game.
Reinhart scored a goal. How about score more than 1 goal?
Yeah,
because there
Reinhart
was plenty of opportunities. No, Sam Reinhart was not great. There were plenty of opportunities there at the end of the game to score more goals, and Sam Reinhart is just missing them.
No, Sam Reinhart was good on both sides of the puck. So and Alexander.
He missed one late. He had a big one, a chance late with the net open.
To Billy's point, he had 8 shots. I mean.
Well, let me explore.
Paul Maurice screams at him and says, "Score more goals, Rhino."
Mm-hmm.
Well,
he did.
People are giving Paul Maurice a lot of credit for the game before that the Panthers scored immediately after he gave some sort of pep talk. They scored immediately after, as if the guy in a suit on the sideline.
Are they required to wear suits? I've been wondering this because I don't know the rules of hockey, but they're always wearing suits. Are they required to? Because what if you could just wear a hoodie? Because it seems a lot more comfortable.
John Tortorella did not wear a suit this season in Philadelphia. I think he was the only coach that did that.
That's it. There's no rule. They all it's an unwritten rule among all of them. We're gonna wear suits even though there's not a dress code.
I guess so because Tortorella was the only person that didn't do it this season.
But you're a hockey expert. Wouldn't you know if there were a dress code or not a dress code?
A uniform dress code.
A dress code for coaches. I mean, the National Hockey League.
There's about to be for basketball coaches. There's going to be again, and there used to be. You're tired, Chris. My
legs hurt.
You're worn out. Okay, you lasted 2.5 minutes doing what Bernie does.
How I roll.
This is why Bernie's a Hall of Famer. You lasted 2.5 minutes doing what Bernie has done for decades.
I mean, he does it in small increments, though. He doesn't do it for 5 minutes
They're
straight.
Not small. What I know of Bernie, nothing about that area is small.
Okay. Huh. What do you know about Bernie?
Well, I like costumes, as you know. I like costumes, as you know.
Yeah.
I was surprised to hear Billy come at the expertise of Roy Bellamy because Jeremy got to watch the game with Roy Bellamy last night, and it was like a tutorial. You would not know from Roy's Twitter that you could do a lot of learning about hockey by just sitting next to Roy.
Roy's Twitter often helps me also, honestly, because it's descriptive of what's actually going on in the game. But last night was incredible for me because I was sitting next to Roy in our Meadowlark Media seats at the Panthers game, and he was just through speaking, maybe to himself, I'm not even sure he was really speaking to me, but talking about the game, I felt more locked in and understanding everything about the approach, the rules than I ever have. And I've been following, obviously, the Panthers for the last several years professionally. Roy made me feel like a more informed hockey fan.
It's why one day he will have a picture and his name on a wall there celebrating his legendary status covering the Panthers since their inception.
Right next to Bill Lindsay.
Roy's Twitter account is great. Like if the ESPN app goes down and you can't watch the game, you have no idea what's going on. Roy will tweet play-by-play of what's happening in the Panthers game, and it's all fact-based.
All right, there is a source of contention here. Let's discuss this now. I want to discuss this because Roy, yes, because Stugotz and I yesterday were having a conversation with Roy because I would argue that this team of people, our show, is mean to Roy's Twitter account.
No, falsehoods.
Roy. Is this show, yes or no? You can say sure again if you want. Yes or no, this show is mean to your Twitter account?
Sure. I mean, I'm not very happy with how people are displaying. I mean, Magic Johnson of hockey is not exactly why I would respond to my Twitter account. I mean, I'm telling you the information that you need to know in real time.
But it is very fact-based, and I would say it's probably a bit different than what Jeremy is learning sitting next to you, but he's saying that he's also learning from your Twitter account.
Most of the times when you're compared to Magic Johnson, it's a great thing.
Not in this situation.
Just not Twitter.
No.
The only spot, really.
I've given my opinion during the games as well. I mean, I guess some of y'all have missed it.
It gets lost because your Twitter account turns into essentially a game log.
Yes, exactly. It does get lost within that, yes.
Don't change a thing, Roy.
I agree with him.
Yes,
Don't change a thing.
right, yep.
There was last year when I was covering the Stanley Cup final, I was trying to support Roy by retweeting everything that he tweeted, and it was great engagement. So people love it.
He copied everything I said and posted it under his account, basically. So,
retweeted.
Yeah. That's not exactly retweeting. That's copying and pasting and
Retweeted.
posting under your name is not retweeting. It's just tweeting.
Thanks, Sebastian. Sebastian gets it.
That's Metal Art consultant Billy Gill, ladies and gentlemen, always helping everybody. Just retweeting Roy because he loves him so much and wants to be a supportive
Of course,
teammate.
exactly right. Sebastian
Dan.
gets it.
It wasn't retweeting. It was just tweeting.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is sponsored by BetterHelp. We all carry around different stressors, big and small. When we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Keeping things bottled up can feel like carrying a weight that gets heavier with time. Whether it's talking to a trusted friend, journaling, or seeking professional help, finding ways to let out your thoughts and feelings can bring relief and help you navigate challenges more effectively. Remember, it's okay to reach out for help when you need it. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/DLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.
Dan Le Batard. Florida claws back from down 2-0 because they were getting their asses handed to them by Toronto to then get lit a fire underneath them by their head coach, Paul Maurice, who did the thing. Remember how the run was sparked last year?
Stugotz.
He called them a bunch of P's and B's. He did the thing again. Called them a bunch of P's and B's, and then, boom. 5 unanswered. You win the division.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
How's it going, Birdie?
The mascots aren't allowed to speak. Billy, go sit in the penalty box.
What? Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to include people, trying to support my teammates yet again.
Not helping.
Getting punished.
You were actively asking a question to produce dead air, Billy. Not helpful.
No,
he can't talk. He's not allowed to talk.
How do you know?
He'll get fired. I tried to talk to him before the show.
Well,
why would you try and talk to him? I told you they can't talk.
Hold on a second. So I'm getting kicked out for doing exactly what you did?
Outside.
Outside.
Dead air.
Middle finger.
Dead air does not hurt the show if the show's not on the air, Metal Art consultant.
It's possible that Bernie and Sebastian have lots of things to say. We just don't ask the right questions.
Bernie, Sebastian, go sit with Billy in the penalty box.
Wow.
They don't deserve that.
Come on. These are Hall of Famers everywhere. Soon to be Hall of Famers that you're kicking out of the studio.
Take 3 Hall of Famers.
Take the dead air
Punishment king.
outside.
It's not a penalty. I mean,
it is. I've accidentally rewarded him.
You gave him a
Damn
gift.
it, the inside man got me again. I gave him a gift. He gets to go sit outside, not work, wreck the show, and enjoy the dead air out there with them because the mascots aren't allowed to talk. And it's a maximum asshole move on a show we're doing together. Out, Bernie.
Oh, man.
All 3 of you, go sit in the penalty box.
Catching a stray.
It's Billy's fault. All 3 of you, go sit crowded in a crowded penalty box. I also want, by the way, I'd like some imaging. I meant to send this last night to the group. I want some imaging that has a whistle blowing and a being sent to the penalty box. When it's Jeremy, I want 2 minutes high shticking and stuff like that.
I like that.
I want jokes in the penalty box with these clowns.
Dan, I kind of feel like you're being a bad host because first you send them to the penalty box, then you don't tell them where it is or what it is. Bernie was just lost back here. He thought Billy's seat was the penalty box.
Wow.
So I think you should go.
Metal Art.
What?
Okay.
Oh, no.
I am now looking at all penalties in the NHL to try to find some wordplay that we can have for I like
Slashing?
high sticking. Yes.
You guys slashing?
I'm not gonna lie. Last night it made me laugh. Anytime, and it's juvenile, it's immature, but anytime there's a hooking penalty, I laugh. It's like 2 minutes for hooking. Because I
Right.
just imagine like this defenseman for Boston hooking.
But how do we apply that name to someone in our crew when we call a penalty on and send someone to the box? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm searching for. I'm searching for more high shticking. Because that's perfect.
What, slashing?
Yes, but for who?
Cross-checking?
When you say something unproductive, it could be boarding.
Okay, so now that works.
For boring.
Yeah, that works.
I
Right
like
there.
it.
Yeah.
2 minutes for boring.
Go to the penalty box, Jerry.
Oh, no. No.
High sticking.
Can't believe you used my own wordplay against me.
What a fun penalty box that looks like. I mean, outside of Dan, what a blast that must be, no?
I feel like they're both Hall of Famers. Maybe it's just my South Florida bias, but...
Right.
And then the fact that Billy the Marlin was ahead of these two, like, if you think of South Florida mascots, these are the two you think of.
Are they?
I mean, Billy the Marlin...
Stanley C. Panther.
But how about the state of Florida? Because Dan was making the point that no mascot in the state of Florida has made it to the Mascot Hall of Fame. And Dan's larger point, and he's correct, is that we should probably have someone from the Hall of Fame on, not the mascots who can't talk.
That's a good point, yeah.
Speaking of mascot, why was Stanley the Sea Panther last night in this first period? He was just wearing like a bathing suit with no shirt on.
But not just that. He has a 6-pack.
I know. He does.
8-pack, actually.
I guess that's why. If you got it, flaunt it. But I was just thinking, this is playoff time. This is not the middle of the season. It's beach day, so he's in beach. Like, I need Stanley C. Panther in his normal attire. It's game 5 here, folks.
Well, the situation is it was 96 degrees yesterday. That's why.
Is that why he did it?
Yeah.
I don't need
hot.
jokes with my mascots in the playoffs.
When things get a little too intense and testosterone filled, Lucy or Jess can call too many men.
So all the time.
I like it.
That's a good one. That's
Too
a good
many
one.
men. Too many men.
That's a good one.
Boring instead of boarding. We're trying to do wordplay.
Yeah.
We'll figure this out off air. It's
High
probably
sticking is
something
great.
that should be. I meant to send that last night and I forgot. Can you guys help me with other Paul Maurice video that we have? Because I don't know the context, Chris Cody, on something that you wanted to show us on not just Paul Maurice being sexy when he yells at people, according to you, but was his post-game stuff too? Because you guys have argued that he's giving great post-game now, better than most coaches are.
Yeah, it's basically a stand-up routine. He's doing this basically to calm down the fans. Like, he's not worried about it. Why should I?
So let's hear Paul Maurice here because this person was called by Zaslow the killer of fun. Paul Maurice came here and reinvented what playoff hockey looks like for South Florida. Stugotz, it's honestly been strange to see. It's something that I don't have enough of a working understanding of the sport, and I think very few of us have the expertise to actually understand what the depths of what these people do for a living. But it is truly baffling to me that an organization could go from we're playing a historic brand of hockey in the regular season that has no offensive precedent in the league. And when this was 2 years ago. And when that gets into the playoffs, it's going to die at the feet of people who coach and make their team play like Paul Maurice. Then they went and got an assortment of players to play exactly the dirty type of stuff that makes people crazy, and they reinvent themselves as a hockey team that can actually win in the postseason because you have to play differently. I don't understand how Paul Maurice did that. I don't understand the intricacies of it.
Well, transition offense doesn't really work in the playoffs. That's the problem. The Panthers' offense back then was more on the rush, going back the other way. Now it's just about forechecking and board battles. What do you take? But it was just dumping it in. You can carry it in as well, so long as you win the puck back. If you give the puck in the offensive zone, you get the puck back. You get second chances. You get screens in front.
Boston was trapping last night, though. So I feel like the way they were playing the Panthers, you got to just dump it down there.
Yeah,
that's the way we're going to get our goals.
They were basically doing what the Panthers have done all season.
Roy, you say that matter-of-factly, though, but you believed in that team 2 years ago. You thought it was so good at offense that perhaps it could overcome what playoff hockey is, and then they immediately get strangled and swept by the Lightning, and you were confused. So you say it matter-of-factly now as if you understand it, but I remember back then you believed that that hockey team was so good at offense that it was going to be able to overcome playoff hockey cliches.
Yeah, well, I believed in that team back then. I believe in this team now.
Bernie's wearing a piece. Now Lucy's wearing it.
Wait a minute. Did you know?
Oh my God!
Did you know that Hall
on a
of
second.
Famer Bernie the mascot wore a toupee? This is breaking news right here. This is shocking. I cannot believe the worst thing a mascot can do is lose his head, but this is the second worst thing.
Strong hairline from Bernie, though. Very strong.
It's not a bad look for Sebastian.
I had no idea. Wait a minute. Wait, it is a great look for Sebastian.
Yep.
Sebastian, give me one of these. Put a pause up. Let's see how that looks on you.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. No.
He will not do pause up. You thought you were going to trick him into
Just,
doing
you know,
FIU stuff?
rebrand here.
I think between the two of you, we can get you into the Hall of Fame there with Bernie's toupee. I had no idea Bernie wore a toupee, that he had a hair implant. I'm shocked by that. Let's play that Paul Maurice sound of him. This was described as stand-up comedy. I believe that's overselling what we're about to hear, but let's hear what we get from our sexy coach.
Paul, you definitely woke them up. They scored 11 seconds after the TV timeout there in the second period. What was the message there, and what was your thought on the goalie interference?
I don't know the exact words of the message. I felt that a little fire. I wasn't mad at them. Understood what they were going through. Just thought they needed some profanity in their life. I brought some. I don't excel a lot of things in life, but me, am I good at that? You see how I did that?
That's coaching, man.
Well, that's kind of comedy.
I don't know why it is that the average sports fan watches ballerinas on razor blades at a high rate of speed and thinks to themselves, you know what'll take that team over the top? The guy in the suit cursing. If he curses, that's what'll fix what's happening out here. I know they
believe in that.
I know they've worked all their life to be these amazing creatures who skate on razor blades and put their faces in front of the puck. They're already playing in the playoffs. They want to win very badly at sports, but what they need is the guy in the suit to curse a few times, then they'll remember to score.
Ballerinas on razor blades, that would be figure skaters, Nancy Kerrigan,
Tanya Harding, yeah. Dan, sometimes your message gets across more clearly when you just throw in a couple of curse words. It does. Yeah, it really hammers home the message. I'm telling you.
Jeremy, what are you bent over laughing at?
Just the clarification on ballerinas on skates. You were using language.
Thank you.
You're a writer.
Yeah, Jeremy, yes, thank you. And I don't understand the correction. Yet what's happening with you, because your Panthers are good, the other day you said to me on air in front of everyone, no, actually, Dan, you interrupted me, and you said, no, actually, Dan, I've got a better question.
He did that.
Yeah, I did that to the journalist, yeah.
That was after you and me argued in the meeting before the show. We argued about whether or not the Panthers had indeed pulled one out of their ass. You're out of control, and I would think that you would have taken last night's loss and been a little bit sheepish about it, but you've come in just as aggressive today.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. I'm a bit over-aggressive right now. I'm just waiting for them to win on Friday and go on and possibly play the Rangers.
Are you worried, Roy? I feel like you're worried.
Is it time to worry?
No, this is not Roy. This is not the Roy I know.
No,
it's supposed to be scary, guys.
Well, hold on. What if the Panthers lose the next game? Will you be worried?
I'll be worried.
But you're coming home.
Yeah, you're coming back home for Game 7.
Do you want a Game 7?
No, I don't want a Game 7. I want the series to be over. What the hell's the matter with you?
Sound scared.
Our thanks to Bernie and Sebastian the Ibis.
Wait, hold on, Dan. You should tell people to vote for them.
I'm
Go
going
to mascothallofFame.com.
Well, doesn't matter.
And also, in the time that's left,
You
I'm consultant.
you guys do
So
it.
I'm thinking
You guys-
maybe each of them gives a speech as to why we should vote them in to the Hall of Fame.
That's a great
You want
idea.
Dan to give that speech.
No, I wasn't. If they wanted to say it,
Right.
maybe throw in some profanities a la Paul Maurice if you want.
All right, there you go. Go ahead, Sebastian. You first. All right, Bernie.
It should be in based on that.
Oh, well said.
Yeah,
That's
there you
how a
have it.
Hall of Famer does it.
Bernie seemed like more of a threat.
Yeah.
No.
We're going to vote.
Better vote.
Both mascots, we're going to vote. Our votes mean nothing, okay?
Well, but don't tell people that. Your votes count.
Well, we should have gotten someone on from the Hall of Fame while they were in studio with us.
For Sebastian, you could also just type in Mike.
Yeah.
Thought that joke would go better.
I try.
They loved it.
Well, they can't laugh.
I gave you a little laugh. I mean, this mascot gave you a little laugh, okay?
Howdy, listeners. It's Mike, and a lot has changed over the years. Just look at sports. There's instant replay, a three-point line, there were shifts and then not shifts. But one thing that hasn't changed over the course of all those things I just mentioned, the great taste of Miller Lite. That's right. It's so good. And it's also less filling. So what's the best thing about Miller Lite, the original light beer? Well, Miller Lite sparked this debate way back in 1975. We still haven't settled it. Be like me. I don't pick one. I like it because it's both. Miller Lite keeps it simple. Undebatable quality. Great taste. Only 96 calories. It's a beer that strips away everything that you don't need and holds on to what matters most. You don't have to choose what's best. Be like me. Say both. Miller Lite. Great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan. Or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs and premium regular beer.